right, still, no, it is afternoon. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Like Ms. Rumbarger said, my name is Zach Butler. I graduated from Fairport in 2011. Since 2011, I was fortunate enough to go to Miami University. Ms. Rumbarger went to OU, which is Ohio University, kind of a rival, but that's okay. I have a degree in public administration, another degree in diplomacy and global politics. I had a minor in Latin American studies. During my time at Miami, I was a firefighter EMT, and then from there I did a term of service with AmeriCorps, which is like the Peace Corps, but within the United States. After that, I started working for the Federal Emergency Management Agency doing disaster response and recovery. So if you think of like the hurricanes or the wildfires, mudslides, all of that stuff is what I responded to. And then most recently, I am a pilot in the United States Navy. I make it a point to come back to Fairport every time that I can, every time that I'm in town and you guys aren't on like holiday vacation. So that's pretty much my life in a nutshell. I was actually going to do a lot more question and answer with you guys. So what do you have for me, if anything? And if you have no questions, I've got plenty. Go ahead.
Did you play any sports at Fairport?
Yeah, so when I was at Fairport, one of the things that I do want to talk about is that Fairport is full of opportunity, right? It's just small enough that if you want to do something, you absolutely have the ability to do it. So when I was at Fairport, I played football in the fall and theater again. So you can, it is what it is. You can do whatever you want here as long as you're willing to like try and say that you want to, right? There are a few sports, right, that I don't think that we have anymore, but I remember I was going to school with a kid that wanted to swim, so Fairport ended up sponsoring him, and we had a one-man swim team for 4 years because that's what he wanted to do. Same with wrestling. We had a 1 or 2 man wrestling team, so even if Fairport doesn't have it, still talk to somebody, ask, and our athletic boosters and academic boosters will usually get you what you need in order to be successful. Good question. Anybody else?
What did you want to like have for a job when you were like growing up before this?
Yeah, so when I was growing up before this, I didn't really know, right? I thought I wanted to go into politics, like, oh, I'm going to be president of the United States. It's going to be so fun. And then I'm like, I don't want to be president of the United States anymore. So I just kept the Fairport mentality, right? Trying things until I found what I actually liked doing. I still am looking at other things too, like maybe I'll go to law school or something else, but really just seeing what I can do and continuing to do that until I'm bored. Is that fair? What about you? What do you think you want to do?
I think I'm going to be a sports photographer.
Sports photographer?
In the major league.
Cool, yeah. Do you take a lot of photos now?
I do.
Cool, good. Mr. Rumbarger?
Can you tell us maybe some of the places you've traveled and maybe your favorite place and then perhaps your least favorite place, if that exists?
Yeah, so definitely exists. Just went a few weeks ago. Coolest thing, right? So when I was at university, I was able to study abroad. So I lived in Costa Rica for 4 months. While I was in Costa Rica, I got to go to like Nicaragua and Cuba. And then while I was with FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, I was able to travel to a lot of the United States. So Florida, Alabama, Georgia, even the big cities like Atlanta and Jacksonville, New York City, I was able to go to with FEMA as well. And then in the Navy, just like these past few months, I flew out to Guam, and then I went to Japan, which is like, or Tokyo, which is in Japan. And then from there, I sailed from Japan down to Australia, but in order to get to Australia, you have to like stop in a place called Lae or Papua New Guinea. It was not my favorite place, but it was really cool experience to be able to see like all of the different cultures and like how they live or how life is so much different from the United States. I think my two favorite places, or my favorite place that I was able to visit was actually Sydney, Australia, which kind of reminds me of San Diego, California, which is where I live currently. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Go ahead.
You said you're in the Navy. What do you do?
I'm a pilot in the Navy. So I fly MH-60 Romeos, which is the Navy's version of the Black Hawk helicopter. We do ASW, which is our anti-submarine warfare. So basically what I do is I fly off from the ship and I look for enemy submarines in the area. So, I enjoy it. Dude, go ahead.
How long have you been a pilot?
I've been a pilot for 5 years. Yeah.
Is it true you need 20/20 vision to be a pilot?
No, so you don't need 20/20, but you do have to have it be correctable, and you can't have color blindness. So that's the real big kicker is the color blindness.
So what's your vision right now?
Mine is 20/20.
Wow.
Mine is, but it doesn't have to be.
What made you become a pilot?
Honestly, I was working at FEMA, and I had wanted to join the military several times in my life, but always just ended up doing something else instead. And then I looked at a lot of my colleagues. I was 22 years old, and a lot of my colleagues were like late 40s, early 60s. And I was like, okay, well, if I can do this now, I can do this later. And so I finally just decided, all right, I'm going to join the Navy, and I'm going to be a pilot. Yeah. My best friend did the same thing at the same exact time, except he joined the Marine Corps instead. So it kind of helped. Good.
What was your favorite subject at Fairport?
Favorite subject, I would probably have to say the one that I appreciated the most was physics. That was with Mr. Messer, actually, who I understand is still here. So algebra, I was always good at math, right? But I didn't, and I knew how to do math, but I didn't really appreciate math until taking physics with Mr. Messer, right? He always said, I don't know if you guys have ever taken it with him, but we always had to use the letters instead of the numbers, and then we did the math that way, and then we could finally plug it in at the end. Made it so much easier than trying to just plug everything in, so easy. Go ahead.
How long did you do flight training before you became a pilot?
So I counted those 5 years as like training status, but the whole pipeline with breaks included took about 2 years. Yeah. So the Navy's flight school program, we have basically 3 different phases. We have API and KNIFE, which is Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination, which is all like ground school. You're learning the rules of flight. You're learning like concepts of aerodynamics or how engines work and stuff like that. And then you fly like a little Cessna plane till you solo it, so about 13 hours. And then after that, you go to primary flight school, which is where we fly the T6 Bravo. Which is like a way overpowered plane for like a brand new pilot, but it's super fun to fly. And then from primary, we have our different channels that we can go into, or pipelines is what we call them. So you could go rotary wing, which is what I went. It's going to be helicopters. Then you have the fixed wing jets, and then you have like the large fixed wing aircraft. So we have the F-35, we have the F-A-18, and then we also have like what's called a P-8. That's going to be our big fixed wing aircraft. That P-8 is basically what you fly when you fly on like Delta or United. It's just a Boeing 737. And then our helicopters are the MH-60 Romeo and then the MH-60 Sierra. Just a little different on the inside, but the outside looks exactly the same.
So when you're working or flying,
Mm-hmm.
do you live on an aircraft carrier?
So most of us do, right? Especially the fixed wing. But since I fly helicopters, you can take off and land anywhere. So I'm on what's called a small boy, or like a cruiser, destroyer, or in my case, specifically, a littoral combat ship. So we're on a little, I mean, it's not little, but it's like 300 feet, 600 feet compared to the I don't even know how big an aircraft carrier is, but giant. 3,000 people versus like the 130 that are with me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you grow up in Fairport?
I did, yeah. I lived over on 2nd Street, and then also, I can't remember the address now, but right down, oh, it was Eagle, 2nd and Eagle, yeah, the whole time. Go ahead.
What do you think on Fairport getting a new school?
I think it's cool, right? So finally, this building is what, early 1900s, maybe late 1800s, I can't remember.
1920.
1920s, see?
McKinley's even older.
Yeah, I knew McKinley was super old. I think it's cool that we're getting a new school, mainly because we'll be able to provide better facilities for the students, which are actually more resources as well. So remember when I was talking about how you guys can do whatever you want to do if you're willing to ask for it, that just helps everyone. I think right before I left, we just got the first computer lab, and now you guys probably all have laptops or something. But yeah, so just learning little things, right? Because I'm not so old that I don't know how to use the internet, but it's not something they taught in school yet, if that makes sense. So no one knows what the future is going to look like. So this is definitely going to help students progress further and be more competitive after they leave. Anything else?
So what's next for you? How many years as a typical pilot are you, how long would it be? Would there be another step for you?
Yeah.
Is there career aspiration after this, or are you just happy with what you're doing?
Yeah, I am happy with what I'm doing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do after or what it looks like, right? So the military is real big on diversity as well, and that even means diversity in career track. So we have in the Navy specifically what we call shore tours and then sea tours. Right now I'm on my sea tour. For my shore tour, I could continue flying and go through those pipelines where I'll probably be an instructor for the new students that are coming in, or I could do something completely different. And those opportunities that the Navy has for my shore tour are endless. So I'm just starting to look at those now, actually. So since I did become a pilot, I have an 8-year minimum service requirement, as opposed to the 3 or 4 years that many people get. So I got 3 left. I'm a commissioned officer, so it's kind of the same, but I wouldn't have a boot camp experience, if that makes sense. 12 weeks, I think it's 13 weeks now, but yeah. Good question.
Is anybody considering enlisting at some point? Has anybody ever thought about it? Anything?
That's okay. I'm not here to recruit. Yeah.
What advice would you give to them as high school students, as they're going through their high school career, looking back when you were their age? If you could give them any piece of advice, what would that be?
We're going to have to go right back to the beginning conversation. Think of what you want to do and just ask somebody. If you're oh, I wish we could do this, well, if you continue to wish for it and you don't tell anyone, no one knows, right? So try theater if you only play sports, or if you only do theater and you want to play sports, why not, right? It's small enough. You don't have to be the star quarterback, and you can definitely play. Is it pay for play or no? Still free. Everything's still free, right? So if you wanted to play football, basketball, volleyball, all of those sports, there's no reason not to if you really wanted to try it. It doesn't have to be all 4 years, just a season, and just take the opportunity to at least try something new and see if you like it, right? There's no reason not to. Don't leave with any regrets or, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I could have done that, because here you can. Anything else? All right, now it's your turn. What do you guys want to do? What do you think, what does your day look like every day, right? So school starts at what time?
What does your day look like, he asked?
Oh, thank God. What time does school start?
18.
What time does it get out?
3 to 5.
Oh, so it's a normal day job, right? It's your day job. Yeah. And then how many classes do you have?
4.
What?
Did we have a block
Technically
schedule when you
5.
were here?
I don't think so.
Who can
Yeah,
explain what a
periods.
block schedule is?
2 periods.
Tell me.
Oh, yeah.
One class is 2 periods long.
Okay. So then you only have 4 a day, and then the next semester you have,
Yeah.
okay. So you guys are coming up on the end of these, right? Okay. All right, cool. What's your favorite class? Anyone? This one? Why?
Good job.
Why is it your favorite one?
Cause we get to print pictures and stuff.
Yeah, and then I know someone said that they wanted to be the like sports photographer. Like this definitely has to help, right? You guys learn how to like focus cameras and work the equipment and everything. So, yeah, I mean that's a life skill in itself. I have no idea how to work a camera unless it's my iPhone. So that's all I got.
We have a cafeteria,
Where's that at?
down, I think it used to be a home ec room,
Okay.
down
Yeah.
on that, well, I didn't wanna say across from the nurse's office, but, and we've got some good, like today was like chicken teriyaki, like we've got
Yeah.
going on.
I think it was the art room probably.
Okay,
Yeah. But Miss Luoma's down. Is she still here?
No, she retired.
Oh, wow. But the art room is still like under the library?
Yes.
That was new. That was a change from last time I was here. So, all right. What do you guys want to be? What do you think you want to be? What do you think you want to do? What grades are in here? 12, most of it? 10th? Oh, you got time. 9th? Who's 9th?
No, you were sophomore.
No, I was gonna ask it.
Oh, you can ask.
You guys not have a cafeteria?
No.
Hey, where'd you eat?
Things were
Wherever.
very different back then.
Wherever there was a spot. So like, do you know that little area where you walk in before you go to the gym, or you could go left or right? A lot of people just ate right there, or they would like bring food, or they would walk to convenient and come back. Very different, I imagine. Go ahead.
Wait, did you guys eat like different kind of food in the Navy? I know like in the military.
Yeah, so the Navy, for the most part, breakfast is the same, right? So you have like your eggs, bacon, whatever else they do. But then during the days, and I'm definitely going to mess this up because I don't have them memorized yet. So like lunch is always the same every day. So like, or every day of the week, not every day. So Mondays, I can't remember what Mondays are, but Tuesdays are like Taco Tuesdays. And then Wednesdays, we have burgers and hot dogs. And then Thursdays, yeah, exactly right. Thursdays are like Italian. Fridays are pizza. Saturday, Sunday, I can't really remember either, but I can't remember. And then dinner, it's just what it is. Really depends on where we're at, right? So like, since I'm in aviation, a lot of my time is spent in San Diego. I just so happen to be on deployment on a ship right now. And then, so that ship, when they get food, they order it from the ports that we pull into. So like, for the most part, burgers are the same, but like an Australian burger is going to be different than the one that we got in Japan. So it really just depends on where we get our food from. Yeah.
What's the longest you've ever been out at sea?
The longest I've been out at sea consecutively would be this one. So September 1st through January 20th. So still technically out at sea right now.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, from September 1st until about January 20th, so 5 months-ish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely sea legs then.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, we're fortunate enough to be on like the littoral combat ship where we pull in every few weeks, so everything's fine. Not consecutively at sea, which is nice. But go ahead.
Have you met any celebrities?
Any celebrities? In the Navy, or just in general? Do you guys know who Jerry Springer is? When I was at Miami, we were hosting and I had dinner with Jerry Springer. But if you guys know who that is. Okay. He was also the mayor of Cincinnati, which is why they invited him up. But yeah, cool. So you guys don't know what you want to be yet? You guys have like 4 months. Go ahead.
I think I either want to play soccer professionally or be an electrician.
Or be an electrician. And then, so are you going to like Auburn or anything?
I think I'm good at
Yeah. Why not, right? Get to graduate, you have all of those skills, and if that's what you decide you want to do, I think you come out making pretty good money too. Right off the bat. Yeah. Trade schools are definitely a good thing.
So is the outfit you're wearing what you would fly in?
Yep, this is exactly what I would fly in. I'd have gloves, my helmet, and then like a survival vest. But other than that, this is what I fly in. It's really nice because if we were to throw it all in water, it would all float, or it's neutrally buoyant. So like if I had to land in the water, I'd be able to like get out, swim, and nothing's like dragging me down, which is super nice.
My dad used to be in the military.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Did he like it?
Well, one thing he didn't like was sitting in the plane for hours.
Yeah, that'll do. Sometimes I don't like that either.
Yeah, we went to an air show once and we went we went and explored inside a military plane, and he said that the seats were completely uncomfortable to sit in for hours.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely not what you get in like when you fly on commercial airlines, but kind of comfortable, I guess. You have to be,
I played
right?
Call of Duty as well.
Oh, easy.
World War II.
I don't know that one.
So besides being a pilot, what other jobs are available for people if they were to join the military? And I want to add, does everyone that goes into the military have to go to like a boot camp situation? Like even if you want to be like a chef or, you know, a secretary or something, you know, there's thousands of jobs I'm sure in the military, but can you just tell us about some of them?
Yeah, so I will start off by saying that I'm not a recruiter. So if you wanted to know, you would have to like talk to one of your recruiters, and all of the branches are different, right? Whether it's the Coast Guard, the Navy, Space Force, Marine Corps, the Army, they're all going to be a little different. They all have some of the same core jobs, but their missions are a little different, which is why we have each respective branch. The other thing is, as a basic answer, yes, everyone does have to go, whether it's basic combat training or Navy boot camp or with the Marine Corps, like everyone does go. The only exception would be like officers, they can go to ROTC, which is the Reserve Officer Training Corps, and then that's when they go to college at the same time. And then you also have the service academies, which this weekend is actually going to be the Army-Navy game. So it's going to be when the United States Naval Academy plays the Army. After that, you have what's called ODS, which is Officer Development School, and that's going to be a little different career path, and that's going to be for your doctors, your lawyers, your nurses, what we call staff corps, not so much as the unrestricted or a restricted line officer. But other than that, everyone goes. Yeah.
So it's gotta be tough to do like a boot camp type of thing. I can't imagine doing it myself.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it has to do with growth, right? So you're just challenging yourself, learning that like a lot of the things that team sports teach you. So you're learning like how to be dependent upon others or pay attention to the little details, right? Because the details are what end up saving your life in the end. So if you get the little things right, you end up, the bigger things just fall into place, if that makes sense. Any other questions? No? That's it? Easy?
Thank you.
So that was
All
really
right.
good. I think it's neat that you did it.
All right. Well,
There's a lot more boys in the class than there are girls.
yeah, that's,
Media class.
hey, we have plenty of female pilots.
Tell me a little about that, because I was reading a story with my English 2 class about
There are
female
plenty
pilots.
of tough female warriors.
This is true.
God bless him.
Oh,
Ma'am,
and he was,
if there's one thing I've learned, it's that girls are a lot tougher than boys.
That's right, Lester.
It's like,
I'm
if there's
gonna
one
show
thing
you,
I've learned.
you want me to pull up one of those videos?
Yeah, I don't know which one
There's
to
one
like
thing I've learned, is
say,
that
but
girls
we'll
are
find
a
one.
lot tougher than boys.
What are you Googling?
His old, what it looked like to fly,
Oh yeah.
what he would see as
This
a
is
fly.
actually you flying.
No, these wouldn't be me. I do have some on my phone of me, but I don't.
What do you want me to search up on YouTube?